look at it.
Oh, I'm telling you guys, this is like just a bad remake of Groundhog's Day. Here we go again. It is WGL AM, a special Tuesday edition. Hope you all had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Good morning to my wonderful two co-hosts, Miss Hannah Hill from National Association for Gun Rights. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Bill. How you doing?
Great, great. And of course, Kostas Moros from the Second Amendment Foundation. Good morning, Kostas. All right. Now, listen, like I say, I got links down in the description box for both SAF and NAGR. They are kind enough to loan us these people every morning to go through this exercise. So get on down there, show both of them some love. You guys know what we are. Here we go again. This is the 178th time we've done this. And this is so much like a groundhog.
Good morning. I think I lost you there for a sec, but hopefully I'm still connected.
I was wondering why you blew off the good morning thing, Kostas. I think you might be a little frozen on the video, so we'll work through it. But hey, here we go. To just give you guys an idea of how much this is like Groundhog.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Kostas, you there? Hannah, this might be you and I's show today.
That graphic is hilarious.
Yeah, well, this is, and I think Hannah and Kostas have been here now for about 15 of these. So I really appreciate it because I could have been doing this all alone, but they've been kind enough to join us. So thank you very much. And if we get Kostas back on the air, we'll have our typical triumvirate of Hannah, you had a good weekend, I hope?
Very good weekend. I got some vitamin C.
Got some vitamin C, vitamin D too, get a little sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Justice, you there now?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah,
right,
great weekend here as well.
I don't know if you saw this graphic, but there you go, just to show you how much this is becoming like Groundhog Day.
Well, you did say you have somewhere to be today, so maybe we'll get a lengthy per curiam in Duncan finally.
We might, though.
If we get a lengthy per curiam, I'm going to get up and leave the podcast running, and you two just go. And then I'll have like my kid jump into the studio later this morning and turn the podcast off or something. All right, guys, you know what we're doing here. We are waiting for the 5 usual suspects. We got Duncan, we got Gators, we got Viramontes, we got NAGR versus Lamont, we got Grant B. Higgins, we got relists galore. Here is our next conferences in case nothing happens today. We'll be back at it. By the way, conference again on Thursday. We'll be back on Monday for that. So, and then just give you guys an all idea. This is, again, how many times we have done this. And it's just, I mean, it's getting ridiculous. We've gone well beyond Snope and Ocean State, which was a gut-wrenching process last year. So any predictions, guys? I know I'm not going to hold you to it.
I'm scared.
Well, what the hell?
I'm going to jinx it.
You're scared. All right. And Kostas is going to give us his per curiam prediction.
Yeah, why not? Let's go for it.
Duncan per curiam today. Boy, that would be a really interesting thing because it would give us an opportunity to actually explain what a per curiam decision is. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand the most famous per curiam decision in the Second Amendment world, which is Catano. And what Catano really stood for, because that is an incredibly limited ruling when you read it. All right. Well, we are just awaiting and for those of you who are tuning in, thank you very much. We're just going to wait for the orders list to drop. It is now the bottom of the hour, so we should be getting one on any moment. As soon as we do, we start doing a word search. It should be out on time. They had an extra day to prepare for this. And I will point out we are done with oral arguments at this point now, guys. So we're going to hopefully start seeing more opinions drop. And is it out now, Hannah?
It's out.
It's out. Here we go.
Yeah, it's loading up now. Yeah.
No Duncan. And no Lamont.
Again.
Although it mentions Duncansville, and so that gives you a minute of panic until you go.
That's just mean.
Hannah, did you have a mild little stroke there a moment ago?
I would have, thankfully, it showed the page at the right moment because, yeah, otherwise, goodness gracious.
Well, it appears as I'm looking at the top.
Vera Montez.
No Vera Montez?
No Vera Montez, no Gators. Did you check Grant already?
Just did. Nope.
It
Another
looks
relapse.
like we got no grants today at all.
Yeah, that's common this late in the term. They tend to not grant as many.
All right. So for those of you just
I'm
tuning
already-
in, thank you very much. Did we check on all 5 of our
We
usual suspects? And we got a nothing burger, which means we're probably back next Monday again. And this is driving me nuts because, you know, they could have, I don't know, 8 conferences ago, maybe rescheduled this to a conference in June and just sat on it in the meantime if they didn't want to do anything. I do not understand this week by week kick the can down the road game we have to play here.
Yeah. Did Gardner go to Gardner's not on this list? She hasn't had her second conference.
Gardner has not had her second conference
Okay.
yet. Okay. And if Miss Gardner's out there, her and I have exchanged a couple of really, really nice emails. She's a very sweet lady. She's not too gung-ho about coming on the channel and talking about it. I'm going to keep working on it. I would love to have her on. I would love for her to tell her story from her perspective. It's compelling when you read it on paper. I can only imagine how compelling it's going to be when you hear it from Ava Gardner.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure.
Really want to get her on. So, Miss Gardner, if you're listening, the invite is always open to you. We would absolutely love to have you on. So,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's just hard to see what the heck they're doing with these hardware cases because pessimistically you have to assume that somebody's writing a dissent, but optimistically, for 2 things. It's been so long now, way longer than normal dissent takes. And second, how many times has Thomas written one of these dissents? Why wouldn't he just say see Snope, for the same reasons?
Right.
So I don't.
Kavanaugh could just cut and paste like, well, maybe next year, guys.
Yeah.
And do one of those little apology tours again.
Yeah. And SCOTUS blog is less pessimistic than I am. They said last month that they think they're doing something because there's so many hardware cases they're holding. So I don't want to be too optimistic because I'll get crushed again like last year after Snope, but it does seem a little odd,
Yeah, it does seem odd, and I think that what I would advise all 3 of us to do, because there is a lot of content creators out there being incredibly over optimistic. Every time like a Damia there's a particular content creator out there. Every time like a Damia gets shot down, this is good news, guys. This is good news because they're saving the space for a hardware case. Well, tell that to the Adamiak family. So that's kind of over optimism, and then there's these over pessimistic folks out there that are like, screw the Supreme Court. They're out to get us. Everything's, doom and gloom. And I think we just need to be a little bit more realistic about it. But the problem is that we really are in uncharted waters at this point. How many times Dobbs didn't even get this many conferences before it got accepted?
Yeah, like we said last week, if Duncan or at this point, I think also Gators is granted, it would break the record the record was 14, which was Masterpiece Cake Shop for a grant after relists. And so now we're at 16 or 17 conferences for Duncan. So if they're gonna grant it, it will break a record, in terms of
Cake Shop. One of those cases about a bakery having to
apparently there's only one bakery in Colorado
kind of thing.
Yeah, apparently there's only one bakery in Colorado. So
is that right? Wow. Well, there's some good business models for people that if you're into baking and you're looking for a new place to open up a shop, check out Colorado.
Every like gay or trans person in Colorado really wants this supposed bigot to make them their cake. Like really, really wants.
Must be a pretty damn good cake. Must be a pretty damn good cake. Huh?
Here's a wild theory.
Let's hear it. I like a wild theory. Let's hear it.
At this point, wild theories are all we've got left.
That's true.
Have you ever seen anybody write a dissent from Grant absurd?
I've never seen that because their chance to dissent would be during the case itself.
Your theory that Justice Brown Jackson will be the first.
Yeah, I was going to say if there's a new dumb thing to do.
I'm not even going to hear this case. There will only be 8 judges on the bench. This
I can't even. Her dissent is just I can't even. I hope I never appear before the Supreme Court because I'm so roasted if she's ever seen that me talk.
That it's an interesting topic though to talk about that, Justice. because there are now two opinions out there where both Justice Alito, who can be a little ornery, as we know, but Justice Comey Barrett, who I don't think has that reputation, where they basically spent page after page after page calling Justice Brown Jackson a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Justice Jackson represents the real entry of modern politics onto the court. What I mean is like Trump era politics, because before like Sotomayor and Kagan, and before them Breyer, like they definitely strongly, even fiercely disagree with the conservatives. Sometimes it would get ugly, but it never really got this weird snipey personal bullshit that Jackson engages in. And I feel like the other liberals don't even seem to like what she's doing.
No, I have heard rumors, take it for what it's worth, that even the two liberal justices are wearing thin with her right now.
You know, though, realistically speaking, it's probably the other liberal justices that are the most aggravated with her. Imagine how you would feel if you had a conservative colleague on the court that was this big an embarrassment to the institution. And you're right. I mean, she's the only one who is clearly not any sort of an institutionalist. I don't think she even grasps what it means to be an institutionalist. And
her happy place was when she was at the Emmys, you know, and everyone was clapping for her liberal crowd. That's what she wants. That's what she wants out of this job, is my impression. I know that's harsh to say, but that's, you know, that's the vibe I get from her. That's what she adores. She's writing. She took the wrong lessons from remember at the end of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's life, where she kind of became a meme and a liberal icon and a hero, and there was, you know, I dissent memes. Like, that's what she took from it. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as much as I disagree with her jurisprudence, was actually a brilliant lawyer. Like, she was an accomplished woman. Like, so I feel like Ketanji Brown Jackson's trying to get at that end of life adoration that RBG got without doing all the stuff before that.
You got to learn that.
Yeah.
I mean, you do. You have, and we kind of do the same to a much lesser degree with Justice Thomas. But neither justice ever, to my knowledge, ever fed it.
Yeah.
That was just what the crowd did, and they were, you know, maintained a dignified distance, and you know, it came at the end, you know, after years and years of service. So.
Well, good morning to everyone who has joined us, all 400 plus of you. It is yet another healthy serving of Nothing Burgers. We have checked on our 5 platform ban cases. We don't have anything on any of those. Presumably, they will be relisted to this Thursday. Presumably, we will be back on Monday. There was no grant of any petition today. And as Kostas wisely pointed out, we are getting down to the kind of dog days of the term, if you would, where we're going to get a fewer and fewer grants. Let me ask both you guys this question. What do you suppose the likelihood is that we get all the way to the final conference, which I think is June 4th or June 11th? So we'll be back on the Monday after that, and we don't have any word on any of these 5 platform ban cases, and they carry over the summer into the fall. What do you think?
I'd be surprised if they kept it that long. I really kind of would. I mean, if they're going to have the conference date, those dates all the way out to the end, they've got to have some work to do. So there's no reason theoretically it couldn't be that. But I just kind of think it'll be in the next 2 or 3.
Okay. Kostas, what do you think about that idea?
I think I agree that that's 90% chance what happens. There is the wild card of, because a lot of our amicus brief and a couple others pointed out that in Duncan, it would be a disaster if it were denied and the mandate went into effect. So there is some chance that if they don't want to take a magazine case alone, maybe they hold Duncan until they take a hardware case. So I could see Duncan lasting over the summer. And maybe then from that point, the court might say, well, we're holding Duncan. Let's just hold all of them until we're ready for a hardware case. Is it likely? No. But that's the outside chance of why that would happen, in my opinion.
It would be better than denying them, because they saw what happened with the state legislatures after they denied Snope. It was basically, you know, open season on the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So at least, you know, they're waiting till the end of at least some of the state legislatures. Like South Carolina's session is over. We're in a special session right now for redistricting. But you know, we wait till most of the opportunity for damage is done, and then by, you know, you're back in term before the state legislatures start in on it, and you can hopefully take the case then if that's what you're planning to do.
Yeah.
There's this California state legislature still in session, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so is Illinois, which just scares the crap out of everybody in both of those states.
With the exception of the year-round legislature, which we
I saw a new piece of legislation kicking around in California about what you have to do if you move to the state of California and you have firearms. And it is the second dumbest thing I read all weekend. The dumbest thing was anyone who's actually moving to California. But yeah, it would be all new classes. You'll have to register your firearms. I think you have to make your firearms available for inspection upon moving into the jurisdiction. It's I mean, there's no infringements there at all. So, all right, real quick, we're going to do a couple of other things. And then, by the way, Minnesota, Chanhassen in particular, which is a suburb of the Twin Cities, we will be out at Stock and Barrel tonight. That's right. We're going to do a live show from Seattle this morning and a live show from Minneapolis later this afternoon. So that's what we got. We're not going to do the morning scramble because Bill's got a flight to catch. So you're going to get nothing and like it. Let's remind everyone that we are still waiting for these two opinions right here, Hamani and Lopez. I'm guessing we expect Lopez first because it was first in time in argument.
Wolford, yeah, most likely that's, and I think Wolford's an easier case. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I see it as an easier case, so it should be quicker. And so maybe as soon as this Thursday, we'll see though. Maybe
Thursday is Union Day, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
4 boxes day. Right.
Correct.
4 boxes day. Yeah. Let's remember that we 3 cannabis cases. This is an 18 United States Code 922 G3 challenge. Harris, Sam, and Nyandaro are still out there. There is a slew of young adult cases, all of those cases listed on the right, that are also conferenced either late 2025, early 2026. Have not heard from them since. There is another case of Moore v. Kipke that has fallen into that category. That is Maryland's sensitive place case. And so those cases all look to be stacking up for a GVR once those 2 opinions come out. We are hopeful that we'll have one of them out on Thursday. It'll probably come out Thursday when I'm on a flight coming back from Minneapolis. That's the way it works. So, Hannah, what does the folks over at NAGR got going on this week? What's on tab for the folks at NAGR this week?
Well, we're doing what we can for NAMIAC, talking, petitioning, talking to contacts on the Hill, that sort of thing, trying to get some momentum behind the idea of pardoning him. That, and we're wrapping up some stuff in state legislative sessions that we're involved in myself. We've got our primary election a couple of weeks away, so I'm shifting gears a bit from the national stage to the local stage.
To the local stage. All right. And Kostas, what does SAF have on tap for itself this week?
Oh, real quick on Adamiac first. I don't know if you guys saw. There was an interview that Rob Scott gave on. Sorry, my brain's melting. Cam Edwards' show.
Cam Edwards, yeah.
And while he wouldn't admit that the ATF did anything wrong in Adamiac's case, which is disappointing, he did say that even assuming Adamiac's guilty of the things, he basically said the sentence was ridiculous. And so I'm kind of getting the vibe, I could be wrong about this, that they're going to let him off on time served at the rehearing or the resentencing. Sorry. So
that will get him. Yeah, that will get him out of prison.
But it doesn't rectify the wrong.
No, it doesn't rectify the problem because the kid's carrying the albatross of being a felon around him. So
his career's destroyed. Yeah, all this.
Even if he gets out of prison, a pardon.
But that is step 1. So I hope they do that, get him out, and then he can continue the fight to clear his name, from not being in a jail cell. So that would be
It's encouraging to see Sakata admit that, even with the use of the word allegedly and all the rest of it, he wasn't brushing it under the rug. He admitted that there appears to be a problem here. And that I took as an encouraging sign.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's going to be interesting to see. I would love to see. I will plant a seed with a couple of you guys here and any other Second Amendment organization that's fine. I did a little research, and it turns out that there's a couple of lawyers in D.C. that have literally cut their teeth doing nothing but pardons. Okay, they're really, and you take a look at their client list. They get a little braggadocious about their client list. They've obtained a lot of good pardons, and so. I would say that if some Second Amendment organizations are going to be dumping some money into this cause, a very worthwhile cause, maybe y'all ought to just consult with that firm in DC and maybe get them on board. Just food for thought. They might know a lot of shortcuts that for those of us trying to figure it out on the outside looking in might not know. So in DC, they probably got some powerful connections too. So we can talk about that off the record later today. Guys,
Yeah, let's do that.
okay. All right. Well, listen, for everyone who tuned in, I want to thank you very much. I appreciate all you gluttons for punishment that get up in the morning and then watch Hannah, Kostas, and I try to make, chicken salad out of chicken shit, because that's what we get served every morning. We have a nothing burger. We are set for conference again on this Thursday. Presumably, we will be back again Monday. We will see. Hannah, any final words before we head out here today?
Well, at this point, all we've got left is perseverance. So that's going to be the word of the week.
That's all we got, isn't it? Kostas, any final words of wisdom before we head out for the week?
No, I'm all tapped out on words of wisdom. I don't know.
I've got a lot of wisdom over Memorial Day.
But hopefully we get some good news soon from the Supreme Court. God knows we need it, given how some of these lower courts are behaving. So it's long overdue.
Well, yeah, especially how some of these state legislatures are behaving. I agree with Hannah that if all of a sudden this gets denied, we're going to just see this emboldening of some of these civilian disarmament states, and they're just going to start going crazy on their citizens.
I mean, they already are. And what's left now, Minnesota and New Mexico, they're all passing these laws. We need to, they're about to, in the same way we've tapped out constitutional carry states, except for maybe North Carolina. They're about to tap out pretty soon every blue state's going to have an AWB. I mean, I know the folks in New Mexico and Minnesota are putting up a great fight, but we need the Supreme Court to actually act to stop this.
And every time I think California has passed every single conceivable type of gun control, y'all managed to surprise me. So,
we're about to pass a training course to have a gun. That's
right.
4-hour training course permit system to buy a gun. So that's coming.
Washington's implementing that an 8-hour class come May 1st.
Colorado's
just to go buy a gun. Colorado, I think people need to pay attention to Colorado on two things. I know the folks in Colorado, if anyone's in Colorado, you're going to be pissed off when I say this, but first of all, no state whines more than Colorado. Okay. The state of Colorado, we got the worst gun laws in America. It's terrible here. It's like, no, you don't. You don't even have the 4th worst gun laws in America. You got a ways to go. California is the king of misery. Okay. I don't care what anybody says.
I would actually put New York City above California, not New York
Illinois
State.
Is pretty brutal, and Hawaii is pretty brutal too.
Yeah.
And okay. But I will say this and I'm going out to Colorado to speak for our MGO here next month. If I were to use one word to describe Colorado gun laws, it's devious. Okay. And here's what I mean. First of all, no state gets more creative and tries to expand their red flag laws more than Colorado. They are the king of carving new paths on red flag laws. Secondly, this permitting scheme that they're doing with semi-automatic rifles coming around in Colorado, I think that if ultimately we were to have an assault weapon ban struck down by the United States Supreme Court, the permitting scheme that Colorado has implemented will be taken upon by many of these other states, and states like California, like, we got to sell semi-automatic rifles. Okay, we'll have a special permit. That permit's going to cost $5,700 to obtain, and it's going to take a year to get before you can purchase one of these. And that's what I think. And so I think Colorado will become the trendsetter in some of those areas.
Yeah. And I think Colorado is also part of what. How many years has it taken California to get to where it's at right now? It's been a lot slower
decades,
than it has in Colorado. So Colorado has been patterning themselves very deliberately after California, but they've done it on a much more accelerated timeline. So
it's now at this point, the trend in the Democratic Party is once they take control of the state, they ram through gun control as fast as possible. So like Virginia was the great example. They're just speed running what California took decades to do. That's just, even when the base, like I feel like the Democrat base is less crazy about gun control than it's been in a while. Like it's not firing them up. It's not what they care. Maybe it's because they're scared of Trump or whatever. But there's less urgency from the base. But Bloomberg keeps donating, so they keep passing these laws, because that's who they're serving. So
and they got a lot of other things on their plate, Kostas. I mean, it's hard work to try to keep boys and girls sports too. So I mean, it takes a lot of energy to keep that going. So
I love how Spanberger at this point is just trying to piss off everyone. She passes gun control. She vetoes the marijuana bill. Everyone was upset about that. Like it's kind of funny actually.
she has gotten off to a rough start. But hey,
Yeah.
Virginia, first of all, you get what you vote for. So, all right, listen, we're going to wrap
Cheers.
it up. I got a plane to go catch. Both of you, thank you very much. I will see you again Monday morning. We're back on Monday morning for another WGL AM. Maybe something will happen. If not, we'll come up with something to keep you entertained for a while. Everyone out there, thanks for tuning in and have a great work week. Hannah, Kostas, thanks a million, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill. Have a safe
Thank you,
flight.
Bill.
Take care.